Morning, guys. Today I want to talk to you about programming yourself for success. What do I mean by that? I mean, okay, we're working with our subconscious mind. We often do and say silly things, and we make silly decisions. Let's be honest about it. As a result, we make bad decisions. We avoid actions that we need to do to be successful. And that is due to a little phenomena called self-talk, which is basically our inner dialogue, inner conversations, ego conversations, whatever you want to call it. Basically what we say to ourselves. And what we don't understand is that the self-talk doesn't come from nowhere. It is initiated or started by programs that we've installed in our subconscious mind over the years. Like in psychology, they call it schemas and scripts. Now, a schema is basically like you get schemas for everything, by the way. Schemas for objects. An object schema would be your picture of a dog in your mind. And if you see a four-legged animal and it conforms to the schema of a dog which you've got in your mind, then you categorize it as a dog. You get a person schema, which is very important. In other words, what you think about yourself and how you see yourself in terms of your characteristics. Pretty much like a self-image, I would imagine. Then you get the other one is called a script. Now, script is very much what it sounds like in terms of a theatrical play or for a play or a movie. In other words, a set of instructions to yourself. Like you walk into a restaurant, your script would be walk in the front door, find a table, sit down at the table, look for the waiter and place your order. That would be a simple script for a restaurant. But we also get a script now which tells us what to do in social situations and when working with other people as well. So the script is basically guidelines on what to think and how to behave in a social situation. The problem, of course, if you've got a negative script. Now, a negative script could tell you, I'm not happy, I'm not very good with socially with somebody, therefore I must avoid the situation. I must avoid that situation because I don't feel comfortable. In other words, you'd enter a social situation and your script would say, I'm not very comfortable with people. Let me just rather stay away on my own. Let me rather stay in the corner and have a few drinks. That is a script which is lining you up for failure. Because if you're not prepared to interact in a business or a meeting or a networking meeting, you can imagine you're not going to have much success in building clients and in building relationships. Because your script is actually one of avoidance. So it becomes a problem for you. Your schema, your self-schema too. As I said, it's a problem for you. If your self-schema is negative, you will keep telling yourself, I can't cope with this situation. This type of work is too difficult for me. I should rather leave this. I should rather avoid this. I must tell the boss, no, I don't think I can manage this task or this project. So basically, your schema of yourself also sets you up for failure. The problem with this is that they're based on our bad past experiences and formed from all the negative beliefs and the doubts and the fears and arrogance, or arrogance in the case of people who have an overinflated sense of self, of a self-schema, which would also be lining you up for failure. Because nobody likes someone who's arrogant and bossy. Okay, so what we have to do then, as I said, schemas, these programs and scripts are driving our self-talk. It's a negative view of self which causes you to react negatively or weakly in a social situation or in a work situation. I can't do this. I must walk away. All this kind of the self-talk that is perpetuated by the schemas and the scripts. And that's obviously this is going to affect your decisions in your social life, and it's going to affect your decisions in your career, which in turn becomes self-limiting or even self-destructive. So what do we need to do here? We need to reprogram these schemas and scripts. So the first thing is to identify this negative program that we have. And how are we going to do that? How do we know What is that program? What does it say that's running in our subconscious mind? How do we get it out? How can we isolate it? There is a way. As I said, a lot of them are running at the subconscious level. You're not even aware of them. And this is why we have to dig deep. So what we do is we use visualization as a tool. Now, visualization is basically creating an imaginary scenario in your mind, which actually fools your subconscious mind into believing that it's actually happening. The subconscious can't tell much of a difference between a real scenario and one that's created in your mind, because it's all taking place in your mind anyway. What you see is being placed into your mind, and what you create in your mind is also placed in your mind. So therefore, it's your subconscious mind. It's pretty much the same thing. So what you need to do now is create a scenario. Let's say work scenario. You can't understand why you're not been doing well at work, why you didn't get a promotion, why you're not having success with sales, whatever the case is. So create a situation where you are either faced with a client or faced with the boss, and the boss is giving you a task. Create this three-dimensional imagery in your mind and see how you feel. Okay? And what you need to do then is, as soon as you start feeling anxious, negative, or uncomfortable, write down the first words that come into your mind. First words. That would then be your self-talk. Okay? Self-talk, we write it down and we examine the lines of self-talk. So it's going to come to us in lines. I can't do this, therefore I can't do that, therefore I should rather say no, whatever the script is. Okay, so then you have to look at this now. You have to start becoming real and saying to yourself, look at the costs. You know what this is doing to me? It's quite clear I've got this negativity in my subconscious mind. It's quite clear these programs are not helpful. I need to get rid of them. How do I do this? Well, there's a number of ways. I'm going to give you a very simple way which will work to a certain degree. It will help. Obviously, there are things like counseling and life coaching and possibly more advanced ways of dealing with this. Let me give you a simple one, which is affirmations. Now, an affirmation is basically a positive statement about yourself, which will counteract the negative statement, which is inside your schema or your script. So what one needs to do is replace those negative statements with positive statements. Consciously replace them. And although it's okay, you're going to say it's a bit, we're fooling ourselves, but that's fine, because you're actually fooling your subconscious mind. But that's okay, because eventually it becomes a habit, and that's what you're looking for. In other words, once you've got your self-talk, your negative self-talk, you need to then create positive affirmations to counter that. In other words, I am actually well liked for everybody. I am a successful person. I am a confident and happy person. And repeat this a few times every day, in front of a mirror preferably. Repeat it to yourself on and over until it starts filtering through into your subconscious mind. Now, as I say, people will say, oh, but you're fooling yourself. You're saying things to yourself which aren't true. Yes, it might not be true at the moment, but it can become true. The reason for this is, in psychology, it's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, what happens is the positive affirmations eventually get accepted by your subconscious mind to a certain, well, at least to a certain degree. And it brings about a bit of change in your behavior and a bit of change in your body language. Remember, your body language was negative before because you want to avoid people or avoid challenges. Now your body language has become more positive. You're telling yourself, no, I can do this, I can do this. And therefore, it will be reflected in your body language, your attitude, and hopefully your decisions as well. And then that will bring you the success. And then the success becomes reinforced, and then the affirmations eventually fall away, and you're left with the success that you've created through changing your thinking and changing your schemas and your scripts. So I hope you understand this simple principle. The affirmations don't solve the problem, but they put you on the path to solving the problem, replacing the negativity with positive thoughts until you actually start to have behavioral change and body language and decision making, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you experience more success in your social life or in your business life. Thank you. Once again, if you'd like to look at my articles or books, I've got lots of books on the mind. I've written, please go onto my website, www.discoveringyourself.co.za. discoveringyourself.co.za. Thanks a lot. Bye.